Climate change is a defining issue of our era, presenting both a profound challenge and an unprecedented opportunity. It affects every aspect of life on Earth, from the air we breathe to the food we eat. Driven by human activities, it requires immediate action. The scientific consensus is clear: the climate is changing. The rate of change today is unprecedented, due to increased greenhouse gases. These gases trap heat, warming the planet. The impacts are already being felt worldwide. More frequent and severe weather events, shifting wildlife populations and habitats, significant social and economic implications. Recognizing climate change as a global issue is crucial. It affects all nations, rich and poor alike. It calls for a collective response worldwide. Only through concerted efforts can we mitigate its impacts. Human activities are at the heart of climate change. Since the Industrial Revolution, the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas has dramatically increased the levels of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. This has led to a significant rise in global temperatures, altering weather patterns and ecosystems. Deforestation is another major contributor to climate change. Forests act as carbon sinks, absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. When trees are cut down or burned, the stored carbon is released back into the air, exacerbating the greenhouse effect. This loss of forests also diminishes biodiversity and disrupts water cycles. Agricultural practices also play a role in climate change. The use of synthetic fertilizers, pesticides, and the methane emissions from livestock contribute to the warming of the planet. Additionally, land use changes for agriculture often lead to deforestation and habitat destruction, further impacting the climate. Urbanization and the expansion of infrastructure add to the problem. The construction of cities and roads often leads to increased emissions and the destruction of natural habitats. These activities not only contribute to climate change but also reduce the resilience of ecosystems to its impacts. Understanding these connections is vital for developing effective strategies to tackle climate change. The effects of climate change are becoming increasingly visible and are manifesting in various forms across the globe. One of the most apparent signs is the rise in average global temperatures. This warming has led to the melting of polar ice caps and glaciers, contributing to rising sea levels that threaten coastal communities. Extreme weather events are another visible impact. Heat waves, droughts, heavy rainfall, and hurricanes are becoming more frequent and intense. These events cause significant damage to infrastructure, agriculture, and ecosystems, leading to economic losses and human suffering. The unpredictability of these events makes it difficult for communities to prepare and adapt. Climate change is also affecting biodiversity. Many species are struggling to adapt to rapidly changing conditions, leading to shifts in distribution and in some cases extinction. Coral reefs, which are highly sensitive to temperature changes, are experiencing widespread bleaching. This not only affects marine life but also the human communities that rely on these ecosystems for food and livelihoods. The impacts of climate change are not uniform across the globe. While some regions experience severe droughts, others face increased rainfall and flooding. This uneven distribution of effects complicates global efforts to address the problem, as different areas require tailored adaptation strategies. If no significant action is taken to address climate change, the future holds dire consequences. Scientists warn that global temperatures could rise by more than 2 degrees Celsius by the end of this century. This seemingly small increase could trigger catastrophic changes in natural systems and human societies. An increase in temperature would exacerbate the melting of ice caps and glaciers, leading to even higher sea levels. This would put millions of people living in coastal areas at risk of displacement. The loss of land would also have profound impacts on global food security, as fertile agricultural lands are submerged. Ecosystems around the world would face unprecedented stress. Coral reefs, which are already struggling, could disappear entirely. Forests could suffer from increased wildfires and pest outbreaks, while species unable to migrate or adapt quickly enough might face extinction. The loss of biodiversity would weaken ecosystems, making them less resilient to future changes. Moreover, the social and economic costs of climate change would be enormous. Infrastructure would need to be rebuilt, healthcare systems would be strained by heat-related illnesses, and economies could face instability as resources become scarce. These challenges highlight the urgent need for proactive measures to mitigate and adapt to climate change. Let's discuss about disproportionate effects on vulnerable populations. While climate change affects everyone, its impacts are disproportionately felt by vulnerable populations. Developing countries in particular are often less equipped to cope with the consequences due to limited resources and infrastructure. These regions depend heavily on agriculture, which is highly sensitive to climate variability. Increased temperatures and altered rainfall patterns can lead to crop failures, threatening food security and livelihoods. This can trigger a cascade of issues, including malnutrition, poverty, and migration. The lack of access to technology and capital further exacerbates these challenges, leaving these communities with few options to adapt. Health impacts are also more severe in vulnerable populations. Extreme weather events can overwhelm healthcare systems, leading to increased mortality and morbidity. Diseases such as malaria and dengue fever may spread to new areas as vectors like mosquitoes expand their range due to warmer temperatures. Resource conflicts are another concern. As water and arable land become scarcer, competition for these essential resources can lead to tensions and even conflict. This is particularly true in regions already experiencing political instability. Addressing the needs of vulnerable populations is crucial for equitable and effective climate action. Do you think any hopeful solutions and innovations available at the moment? Despite the challenges posed by climate change, there are numerous solutions and innovations that offer hope. Transitioning to renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and hydroelectric power can significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions. These technologies are becoming more affordable and efficient, making them viable alternatives to fossil fuels. Carbon capture and storage, or CCS, is another promising technology. It involves capturing carbon dioxide emissions from industrial sources and storing them underground. While still in the early stages of development, CCS has the potential to significantly reduce emissions from sectors that are difficult to decarbonize. International agreements like the Paris Agreement play a crucial role in coordinating global efforts to combat climate change. By setting targets for reducing emissions and promoting sustainable development, these agreements provide a framework for countries to work together towards a common goal. Individual actions also matter. Simple steps like reducing energy consumption, using public transport, and recycling can collectively make a significant impact. Education and awareness campaigns can empower people to make informed choices and advocate for change within their communities. Now we understand the need for global cooperation. Addressing climate change requires unprecedented global cooperation. As a problem that transcends national borders, it demands coordinated efforts from all countries, regardless of their economic status. This involves sharing technology, knowledge, and resources to ensure that every nation can contribute to and benefit from climate action. Strong policies and regulations are essential for driving meaningful change. Governments must implement and enforce measures to reduce emissions, promote sustainable practices, and protect natural habitats. This includes setting ambitious targets and holding industries accountable for their environmental impact. Investment in resilient infrastructure is crucial for adapting to climate change. This involves constructing buildings and transportation systems that can withstand extreme weather events, as well as developing sustainable agricultural practices that are less vulnerable to climate variability. Public awareness and education are also vital. By fostering a global understanding of the challenges and opportunities associated with climate change, we can inspire collective action and innovation. Empowering individuals and communities to take action is key to building a sustainable future. Okay, now let's discuss about the opportunities for a sustainable future. While climate change poses significant challenges, it also presents opportunities to create a more sustainable and equitable world. By transitioning to a low-carbon economy, we can drive innovation, create jobs, and improve public health by reducing pollution and reliance on fossil fuels. Sustainable agriculture practices can enhance food security and resilience to climate impacts. Techniques such as crop rotation, agroforestry, and organic farming not only reduce emissions but also improve soil health and biodiversity. These practices can help communities adapt to changing conditions while preserving natural resources. Urban planning offers another avenue for sustainable development. Designing cities that prioritize green spaces, public transport, and energy-efficient buildings can reduce emissions and improve quality of life. These initiatives can also foster social inclusivity and economic growth. Innovation in technology and business models can drive the transition to sustainability. From electric vehicles to circular economies, there are countless opportunities to develop solutions that address environmental challenges while creating economic value. Embracing these opportunities is essential for building a resilient future. What is next? A call to action. Climate change is one of the greatest challenges humanity has ever faced, but it is also an opportunity to reshape our world for the better. By recognizing the urgency of the problem and committing to action, we can mitigate its impacts and adapt to its inevitable changes. This requires a collective effort from individuals, communities, and nations across the globe. The solutions to climate change are within our reach. By embracing renewable energy, sustainable practices, and international cooperation, we can create a future that is not only sustainable but also equitable and prosperous for all. The transition to a low-carbon economy will bring about new opportunities for innovation, job creation, and improved health and well-being. Each of us has a role to play in this global effort. Whether through personal choices, advocacy, or supporting policies and initiatives, we can contribute to the fight against climate change. By working together, we can build a future that is resilient to the challenges ahead and rich in opportunities for generations to come. Now is the time to act. The decisions we make today will determine the world we leave for future generations. Let us rise to the challenge and seize the opportunity to create a sustainable and thriving world for all.